G'day, everyone. We are back for another team season preview. This is my favorite childhood team because I don't love them as much as I used to, Skitty. It's the time for the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes, sir, Jay. I mean, we got, your favorite childhood team. We got the Big Horse's favorite childhood team, and one of the probably the most disappointing teams for you guys at the moment right now in the NBA. But hopefully we get a healthy season from the LaMelo Ball. Hopefully we get a healthy season from Mark Williams. That's what we're going to be able to discuss here tonight to make sure that you guys understand what's going on with the Charlotte Hornets this year.
I can 100% guarantee you there are many reasons why the Charlotte Hornets will be able to help you win your fantasy league this season. It's a big call. I guarantee you, Skitty. We're going to chop it up in this one. There are some really good reasons why the players on this team are good for you, and we'll tell you why right after this.
They're playing basketball.
Basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skitty, and Mally for the Insight NBA show.
They have a really sexy schedule. Sexy schedule.
Do they? That's good because last year they had a dog shit schedule, so that's a plus for them.
Now, there's all about which week you finish your season on, but first and foremost, do you want to take us through their record last year? And I'll tell you a little bit about this year.
Yeah, it was disappointing as the Charlotte Hornets had 21-61. They missed the play-ins, the G-Wiz. They got the 6th overall draft pick. But then again, their starting point guard only played 22 games, and their starting center only played 19 games for the season. So I'm guessing they can't do a lot worse than they did last year.
They cannot do a lot worse. And their schedule is really fantasy friendly for you. From week 13, they play 4 games every single week up until week 18. So in your finals push, the Hornets are pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
It's interesting. Let's just see if LaMelo. Well, let's see if LaMelo Ball can make it till then. Because when was the last time he did that?
This is my next fucking point. This is a guy who we are already starting to see in drops. Can we do a reverse? Can we do a reverse order, Skitty? Can we just start with Team Top Gun?
I mean, it's your show, Jay.
What's our show?
It is. But if you want to do it, then go for it, bro.
Because I think it's important. Because you've dropped the name.
Okay.
LaMelo Ball.
Right.
And it's not this guy. Because he really is the Team Top Gun. Shout out to my favorite mascot. Don't you laugh, Skitty. It's Hugo the Hornet is the real MVP. He's been there since Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning. He's on my bloody hat. He's my guy. Okay. But it really is LaMelo Ball, mate. You love this bloke.
I mean, yeah, look, LaMelo is a basketball player. We've seen how good he can be. We saw it, 2 seasons ago when he was an all-star. He was top 20 that season. Last year, he finishes the 22nd overall, 22nd per game. And then overall, he was 251st. But that was obviously because of the 22 games played, though, Jay. But, yeah. As you said, he's obviously the team top gun. He's the glue that makes the Hornets work. And, without him, they got pretty much no shot. But, 24 points per game, G-Wiz. Almost 8. He did get 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So he is a massive triple-double threat. And also, too, G, 1.8 steals. He is bloody good at interception steals and threes as well. He does a lot. Yes, the turnovers are going to hurt. Yes, the field goal percentage is going to hurt, but the free throw percentage also really good. So he's doing a lot good, a lot bad, some bad, but a lot good. So sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. But
this is true. This is the case of LaMelo. But when we look at his games over the last 5 years, and again, one of the things that we're talking about with our big draft boards is the fact that we have some data you just cannot get anywhere else. If you haven't got it yet, they're starting to sell really well. You can jump on our Patreon, get it down there. The link is in the chat. We're going to have it on our web store this year. It's only $30 for the big one. It's basically all of our big draft boards. Yours, mine, Matrix, Mally. We go 168 players deep. We actually have an aggregate average page, so our consensus picks. And we also have a player reference page of over 200 players, including rookies. You can get that. You can find out where to draft guys. Early ADP data suggests that LaMelo is dropping to the end of the second round. Now, in an analyst mock draft, we've done a show about, and you need to go back and check that out. He went 18th because analysts know the potential in this guy.
Yeah.
However, punters, general people, you listening to this show might be, but if he fucking goes down again, I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
And that's the case. But if you pick him up at the beginning of your third round, if he slides, this is a first round player you're legitimately getting in the third round.
Yep.
And Skitty, that wins you leagues.
Yeah, absolutely it does, Jay. The hard thing to go about LaMelo is, yes, he's had 4 or 5 ankle injuries in the last 18 months or so. Yeah, that kind of makes it a bit hard, but they've all been they all haven't been injuries that have been really, really bad. They've just been, he stepped on a commentator. He rolled it coming out of his Mercedes or whatever the hell he drives, or his Lambo or whatever. He fell down on ball his life. They're all just inconspicuous injuries. So I still feel yeah, he does. But I feel like I can still get away with drafting LaMelo in that second round and feeling pretty comfortable that he's going to be able to return it. Also, too, he's the face and the figure of this whole Hornets franchise. So I feel comfortable with taking him around there.
The biggest red flag, and if you get our big draft kit, you'll see this because we have the average games played over 5 years.
Yeah.
All these players. It's 46 games.
Yeah.
That's like just over half of the games available for.
Yeah.
And that's dreadful.
Yeah.
But it's not just him. Because the guy who's in this photo, Mark Williams, was basically a corpse last year.
Yes.
And this was, you'd agree, Skitty. Every man and their dog wanted to get this bloke on their team.
Yeah, everyone did. They wanted to get Mark Williams in when at the start of the season. He was, in fairness, he was the 60th ranked player per game. So that is indicating how well he was. He's another one of these big centers that, gives good rebounds and good blocks, but his free throw percentage is a little bit hindering, but it's not as bad as some of the other ones. If you watch the Brooklyn Nets.
Nick Claxton.
Yes, exactly right. Nick Claxton. So Williams was almost at 13 points, almost 10 rebounds, 1.1 blocks. So the blocks were a little bit lower than some of the other guys, but 65% field goal percentage from the field. So that's always a massive, massive plus there, G. So we know what we can get from Mark Williams. It's just going to be depending on how the back is. No reports are indicating any otherwise of how well that he has gone with the back injury, how well he's recovered from the back injury. And I'm definitely dropping him down my draft boards just in case it's going to be another Nick Richards situation.
Why would the Charlotte Hornets ever give us a decent injury update? Ever?
That's so
why?
They are rat bastards and I don't like it. But when we quickly go with this, Jay, this is what we believe is going to be the starting 5. LaMelo Ball, Josh Green, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams. I'm pretty confident saying LaMelo Ball is going to be the point guard. Brandon Miller will be the starter. Miles Bridges will be the starter. Am I sure on Josh Green? No. Can I say it being Grant Williams? Absolutely, I can. Do I think it's going to be Mark Williams if healthy? Yes. If not, then it will be Nick Richards. That's where I see the starting 5 with G. And then, do you want to run us through who the ins and outs are for this Charlotte Hornets team?
I do. And a few of these mean absolutely nothing because Bryce McGowan's was there but didn't play shit. He's over in Portland. Just another shooting guard, small forward guy, and just hanging out in Portland. That's where they seem to go. The Poku experiment is officially dead. He's probably playing in China. No, he is overseas right now, but Poku is off the team. JT Thor and Davis Bertans, who they brought in, is gone. And the ins, the most exciting is Tidwane Sonlun. I love his game. And he is a guy as well with Mark Williams out. We could probably see some run for minutes. Skitty, I think he's a guy we're going to talk about later because he is one of the guys on draft day who we are picking up because he's an upside pick. Yeah, I think he's a last round guy. Like, let's see where he goes. Pick him up. Doesn't work out, drop him, get a hot free agent, use that spot to ride the waiver wire. But I think we can literally come to a point where if he's going to get minutes and an opportunity, if we know that Mark Williams is going to be back, that he's going to get some run. He had a really good summer league.
He did. I personally don't think that Solan is ready at all yet, and I am not going to be drafting him at all, not even close on draft day. But that's just the way that I go with it. I also can't believe that they got rid of JT Thor. I thought JT Thor was good and progressing all right, and they should have given him more minutes, but they didn't. So either way,
his jump shot's really good in 2K.
That's true, and he hit that really nice jump shot first yesterday against the USA as well in the Olympics. But
he did.
That's the way that we go. Let's touch on Josh Green. So the starting lineup again, G. Let's just quickly go back to that. Do you think it will be Josh Green and the shooting guard to bring in some defense, obviously acquired from the Dallas Mavericks, or do you believe it would be his former teammate in Dallas for Grant Williams?
No, I think Josh Green there is a really good shout. We've seen what he can do off the bench in Dallas. They need defense. He fits the bill really well. He's a reasonable on-ball defender, but he can also work off the ball. And we've seen that with dominant guards like Josh Giddey, Patty Mills. Josh Green is really happy to come in, feel his role, play. He likes the ball in his hands, don't get me wrong, but it does make sense for this lineup because otherwise they're rolling out Trey Mann again.
Yeah,
Mincic,
I don't think they need they need defense in that.
They do. And I think this is where he gets it. I mean, we've got old mate Leaky Black hanging around, but I think Josh Green is a better basketball player.
The Hornets have been open to having no defense in their starting lineup for the past couple of years, though, because they had Terry Rozier starting as well. Yeah. So, and then Plumlee as well. So they were very, very open to having no defense whatsoever in the starting lineup. And
that's why they have continued to suck.
That
and we hope they don't.
So
but this is where we're thinking he has upside.
Yeah.
So would be instead of Saloon.
I'm not drafting him. I'm not drafting.
You're not drafting him?
Not drafting Josh Green, but I was definitely more interested than I would have been if he stayed in Dallas.
Okay, so this is a guy who you're definitely going to target on your waiver wire.
Correct. Yes. For back-to-backs.
So off our starting five, the only guys we're looking in for 100% come draft day. LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, and Brandon Miller. And I guess that can bring us to this one. Our AD paddle. You've got a corker for this one. Mate, you chose a good one.
Yeah, I like to put this one up. Miles Bridges versus Emmanuel quickly. We know what Miles Bridges' floor can be and what his ceiling basically can be as well. He was 57th last year, 58th overall. He played 69 games. Gee, he played 37.4 minutes last season.
Yeah, he did.
I'm aware that his stats decrease when he doesn't play with LaMelo Ball. When he plays with LaMelo Ball, he completely evolves into a better basketball player and he does some sensational work. So with LaMelo Ball hopefully back this year and not having any more ankle injuries, then we can continue to have a better Miles Bridges. But I'm just not on the accord of where I can sit there and comfortably say that I would much rather take Miles Bridges over a guy like Emmanuel Quickly, where Quickly can be the number two, but the main ball dominant guy in Toronto. Again, Miles doesn't really hurt you in any categories, where Quickly can theoretically hurt you in field goal and turnovers. I still think I lean Quickly as a bit more of a, upside flamethrower kind of scoring kind of punch, but I still like being able to, like, Bridges just being safe. Bridges is very, very safe in
Bridges is very
picking,
safe.
yeah, in his fantasy game. You know what I mean? Where do you go?
Bridges came out of the absolute effing blocks last year when he came in. He was like, yeah, I've missed these games. It was almost like the whole public relations tour. Like, look, I may have done some stuff. It wasn't good. Was suspended for that stuff. Stuff is still going on. But what then happened is that this bloke has slipped over the course of the year. The weight of the shoulders on the Hornets kind of came to him to be their best player. And he wasn't ready for it. He went down. His field goal percentage was trash. He plays really well with LaMelo. And so I think there is room for him to improve on last year. But I just really like Quickly. I had Quickly as a pickup late in my drafts last year. I wrote him as an extra point streamer. I threw him on the waiver wire. I brought him back in, threw him off, threw him back in. And I had him on my team. And around the same time, I had Dante DiVincenzo. And I was laughing. I had Quickly. I had Dante. So I'm really tied to what Quickly's upside is. And for me, it's Emmanuel Quickly.
Okay.
I think the three-headed snake of Barnes, Quickly, and an improved RJ Barrett is a lot of fun. The tank potential is real, and that can hurt you.
So Bridges,
yeah, that's true. Because
do you want to know that? Do you want to know this as well, though, Jay? So Bridges was technically down last year in field goal percentage, but he still was at 46.2 field goal percent from the field, which is quite respectable. The only reason that we value it as being down is because he actually dropped from 49.1 the previous season. The only difference between there was, he had a bit more of LaMelo Ball to be able to facilitate with him and Scary Terry. Last year, he was having to rely on Velisi Micic and then Trey Mann, which just isn't the same gravitational pull as the Scary Terry and LaMelo Ball. If we get
he was
LaMelo
playing
Ball,
for a contract. And he was playing for a contract. So he had to show his ways.
Yeah, he had to shoot so much last year.
He did. He had to just carry a massive load. I think he's better this year. And I think you win this ADP battle. We'll at the end of the year listen to this back and be like, who won this one? You're taking Bridges. I think it's a better chat.
He took 3 more shots.
I think Emmanuel gets it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, I would be more than happy to have a crack at that upside of Quickly, because Bridges is just the flaw of it. So yeah, I can also agree with you there, mate.
But I think your basis there is really important, because around this time of rounds, in the middle rounds of your drafts, where do you go, Skitty? Do you talk upside and get those guys that you want, like your Emmanuel Quicklys, or do we take your really solid floor guys?
This is completely dependent on who my first couple of picks are. I think we're going to be able to get Quickly and Bridges around the 40 to 50 odd range, late 40s, early 50s. If I've gone for a couple of swings in my earlier picks of, having a bit more of a younger kind of upside guy, if I've taken Tyrese Halliburton, I don't feel as confident in taking Quickly. I think I want the stability that I know I can rely on from Miles Bridges. But let's say if I went from someone that I know I'm going to be able to rely on, the categories that I want each and every week, each and every day even, then I'll have a bit more of a swing at Quickly rather than I would at Bridges.
And that's kind of where you can set yourself really nicely up for drafts. But there is a guy in drafts that I have my eye on early, because again, we've kind of hit on the major keys. I think this guy's ready to take another bump up this season. Your opportunity. It is sophomore Brandon Miller. Last year saw himself with an increased role. He was the breakout star. Absolutely love this guy. He wears my favorite number. It's my birthday. It's 24. There's a lot to like. There's a lot to be filled out around. But Brandon Miller, I think, can be an absolute weapon for this team this year, mate. I'm excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, me too. I liked his first year in the NBA. It was a little bit of a slow start that we saw from Miller, but he kind of worked his way back into it a little bit more. I'm very, very intrigued about how he finished the season off. So for the season, he was 116th per game, 90 overall. But in that last 2 weeks, right, when there was a couple of injuries for the Hornets, he did shoot closer to the 50% mark, which is what we want to see. He shot 92 from the free throw line. This is while also getting almost 3 threes a game, which is very encouraging, and about 20 points per game. While also maintaining the 1 steal a game. Now, that is vital to Brandon Miller being a good fantasy player, is that he needs to be able to bring that steal. He's wasn't really known for being a defensive kind of player in college. He can't really facilitate yet. As we said, it was only his first year. He's just going into his sophomore year. Needs a bit more rebounds. But the points is very, very nice for Brandon Miller. Obviously, we didn't see it with LaMelo Ball very much, but the steals is what keeps him good. The field goal percent, I think he can be a very good percentage type player, low turnovers. And then if we can keep the steals happy there and we can keep the points at around 20, it looks nice if you're going to be able to get him at about pick 90, because then we can get nice points, some steals, and some good categories late in the draft from Brandon Miller.
Shout out to our good friend Dan Titus, who's already fucked us over on his value. He has placed him at 70 in the Yahoo Big Board.
Shit.
So he is currently sitting at 70 on Yahoo's projections for the year. I think he is going to be a lot bloody. Thanks, Dan. No, thanks.
Because we had a bit. If you could get him at 90, that's such good value. But
if you could get him at 90, even in the 80s, I'm happy to take a crack, because
I think 70 is like. I think 70 with no. I think that's like almost his ceiling. I think he can probably just get to about 60 odd with Bridges and Ball there. You know what I mean?
See, that's very funny you say that, because you focused on the last couple of weeks. So I actually worked backwards. I worked back on last week, last 2 weeks, last month, last 2 months. And then I thought, how good was this bloke the last 3 months? He was the actually 68th best player. So he actually eclipsed that top 70. Now, that was without LaMelo. LaMelo only played 5 games in that time. So that's really important to keep in mind. So where you said it, like, that's his upside. So we're expecting him to be better with LaMelo Ball in the team, maybe less shots forced, more open threes. He was 1.1 steals during that time. His field goal percentage was 450. Free throw was 840.
The hard thing about it is, though, he had a 25.7 usage in that time, and that's the hard point. How are we going to be able to get that usage for Brandon Miller to be able to maintain 20 points per game with LaMelo?
Because LaMelo's like a 33% usage guy. So in that time, if you look at where they spread the floor, there's some good games for Miller in that. But they need to find themselves together as teammates first. Yeah. But again, LaMelo Ball has averaged 46 games for the past 5 years.
Very true.
In his career. Yep. So can we expect that from him? I don't know, but I'm really excited to see where he goes. He is definitely going to not eclipse. It's a strong word. He's going to be better than he was. He's not going to be weak as piss. He's going to be.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet. We need to figure out the opposite of weak as piss.
We haven't. But you can still get that merch.
Yeah. But yes, you can buy that merch. Buy our merch, please. Go into the web store. Links down in below. Buy some nice stuff. Be able to see the beautiful and absolute selling like hotcakes. Weak as piss. Be better merch. Which is
because that's what he's going to be this year at the big one, and do that one straight on up. Those are the major guys that we've said we're focused on. The best of the rest, again, Hugo, you can't draft him. I would if I could. He'd be number one on my got big board every single day of the bloody week. But these are the other guys out because you mentioned about Mark Williams. We don't really know, but we've got Nick Richard, Trey Mann, Grant Williams, and Salon. I think these are the only guys we can give any weight to come draft day or immediate pickups on the waiver wire.
I can see. Well, if Grant Williams is starting, then we can have a bit more of a look. But still, I don't think I would pick him up. Solana, I'm not in on at all. Trey Mann would have to be without.
I like Solana Island.
Yeah, mate, I've got no interest. So yeah, I'm completely out there with you, mate.
Cool
you can sit there on the island. I'm gonna sit on shore waving with a beer, being like, yoo-hoo.
I'm gonna have a lobby boy. Be like, can you bring me some Solana stock, please? Excellent.
Yeah, but again, if Mark Williams is out again, we pick up Nick Richards more than happily. That's no worries there. I can also see they could go back to doing the small ball center like they did last year with Grant Williams playing at the center, and then we could have a little bit of a look there. But I think Micic will still get some minutes, and when LaMelo Ball is out, that's when we pick up Micic.
And again, this is a guy. Micic is a guy you stream. He was still outside the top 200 last year, even getting all those minutes down the way. You loved him. He got you some assists. He had hot flashes. He went away. He got some points. He went away. You'll stream the hell out of him. And in the last 3 months of this season, when Mark Williams was a corpse and we didn't know when he was ever coming back, Nick Richards played 36 games and he was still the 142nd ranked playing player. So this is not a guy you're exactly putting like a top 100 pick in. If he's around, sure. But there's going to be some guy who's like, no, Mark Williams isn't back yet. He's gone. And they're going to jump way early.
Yeah.
On Nick Richards.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If Mark Williams isn't playing, absolutely. Yeah, and that's not something that I will be interested in at all there, Jay, because we've seen what happens when Nick Richards starts, and it's just not overly great. The only thing I will say about Micic, though, is if LaMelo Ball goes down, yeah, I think we get him because a lot of games where he averaged double-digit assists, and that's a big yes. No, not at the waiver wire, except for when Ricky Rubio was a pickup off of the waiver wire, but also too Ricky's field goal percentage weren't as dog shit as Velisi Micic. But that's all right.
Velisi loves it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting FIBA Micic?
Oh, let's hope so. He was actually all right for Serbia, wasn't he?
He was bloody good. He was the reason they dug out that win.
He's no Patty Mills, but whatever.
No one's Patty Mills. No one's Patty Mills. You've got yours in your cooler right now in your 4-on-1 because it is. You can drink from it or you can put your stubby in it. And Father's Day is around the corner. You make sure you want to get onto all of your gear from these guys. You want to drop in the promo code IFS15 for 15% off all your gear from the Standard Squeeze. They've got all the apparel, your camping gear. If your dad loves camping, get him like the big pack. It's got one of the campers. It's got the travelers. It's got a 4-in-1 cup. It is the absolute perfect Father's Day gift. And you've got your dad's birthday tomorrow.
I do actually. Yeah. Big Davo on your big fella. Yeah. I'll see you at the cast tomorrow.
Is that cool for the casino?
Yes, it is the casino. Yeah. Yeah. My old man shipping my mum, my fiance and my brother's girlfriend off to a play while me, my brother and my dad go to the cast and punt.
What theatre play are they seeing in Melbourne, Skitty?
I don't know, mate. I'm going to the cast. I couldn't give a shit what they're going to go see.
I like the theatre. Well, message your missus afterwards and ask her what she saw. And be like, we'll exchange notes. It's fantastic. Guys, thanks so much. We've got more of our season previews. Heaps of shows coming up this week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do all the things. Much love to you all. Enjoy your hoops. Enjoy Insight. We enjoy you. Take care.
Bye, our match.